Many have either seen or heard the tale of Mowgli, the man-cub who was raised by wolves in the jungle. But there is more to this story than animals that can sing and dance. The enchanting world of the Jungle Book comes from a collection of short stories published by Rudyard Kipling in 1894. Acclaimed as one of the most brilliant writers in his time, Kipling has since been criticized for his prejudices and imperialistic views. He remains a controversial figure today. However, the adventures of Mowgli, Bagheera, Baloo, and Shere Khan have since eclipsed the author's career and reputation. In the 4 live-action film adaptations to follow, we see how directors address the themes in the work and which elements from the original stories they choose to highlight. This is The Jungle Book by the Book. This independent film from 1942 is the first screen adaptation of The Jungle Book, but strays far from the original stories. In this exuberant, slightly chaotic epic, the action unfolds as an Indian storyteller relates the struggle between the village and the jungle. Loosely based on the first 3 chapters, the film shifts focus from Mowgli's upbringing with the wolves to his time spent reacclimating to civilization. Mowgli and Mahala, a local village girl, discover a treasure chamber in the king's palace, setting off a chain of events that highlights man's greed and duplicity. Filmed entirely in a Hollywood studio, the scenes especially make use of Technicolor, calling attention to the exotic backdrop complete with wild animals and lost kingdoms. Unlike the original story in which Mowgli kills Shere Khan through a collaboration with the wolves and a herd of bulls, Mowgli is shown to personally fight the tiger with some help from Kaa. At the end, Mowgli saves the villagers and chooses to return to the jungle.
I'm of the jungle. Their lair is my lair. Their trail is my trail. Their fight is my fight.
His connection to the animals and respect for the natural world convey moral lessons to viewers of all ages.
What's happening?
Shere Khan sees me not as a man, but as a creature of the jungle.
The 1994 film gives Mowgli a stronger origin story with historical context of British colonialism. We fast forward through his childhood and see more of adult Mowgli returning to the human world and reuniting with his romantic interest.
Lamb, male, quick, royal, victory, extra, yellow, zebra!
Very good.
The love triangle between Mowgli, Kitty, and her cartoonishly evil fiancé is a large part of the film, as is the trope of a lost city with legendary treasure. Again, the greed of man is shown to result in deadly consequences. King Louie from the Disney animated movie does not exist in the stories, but becomes integral in this film. As in the first adaptation, Mowgli is shown to be the only human that understands the animals, who do not speak. However, unlike other versions, Shere Khan is not a villain so much as a protector of the jungle. He attacks the men that kill animals for sport, but later acknowledges Mowgli and leaves in peace. This adaptation seems to have little in common with Kipling's collection of fables, with elements reminiscent of Tarzan and Indiana Jones. The film presents a whitewashed view of colonial violence and minimizes the role of the animals, but we do see more of Mowgli's inherent innocence and his search for identity. The 2016 film is a remake of Disney's 1967 animation, but also includes details from Kipling's original works, striking a new balance between the two. The classic songs evoke nostalgia, while the inclusion of more action sequences and a different ending give it a fresh look.
This is the law of the jungle, as old and as true as the sky. The wolf that keeps it may prosper, but the wolf that breaks it will die.
Kid, that's not a song. That's propaganda.
The characters largely stay true to their storylines from the animated movie, with the exception of Shere Khan, whose threatening presence permeates the film. In the original stories, Kaa is a male snake and actually saves Mowgli, Bagheera, and Baloo. Expounding on Mowgli's family history and the origins of Shere Khan's fear of fire make Mowgli and Shere Khan's rivalry much more personal, culminating into a showdown at the end of the film. Other scenes that take inspiration from the original writings include the water truce and the water buffalo stampede. In this version, Mowgli inadvertently causes the wildfire, but ultimately saves the jungle with the help of the other animals. This adaptation hones in on family-friendly plot points that carefully shape the story, celebrating the idea of man and nature coexisting in peace.
Sleep now, Shere Khan. Be angry no more.
This 2018 film follows The Jungle Book more closely than the other adaptations. It starts off according to the plotline of the first short story, wherein Bagheera and Baloo both take responsibility for Mowgli.
The law states that the life of a cub may be bought for a price. I brought my payment.
We have one. Who else will speak for the cub?
Baloo does.
As he grows up, they teach Mowgli the law of the jungle, finally revealing to him that he is human and telling him to return to the village. When Mowgli is kidnapped by the Bandar-log, he is rescued by Kaa, who believes that he will restore harmony to the jungle. As in the stories, Mowgli uses fire from the village to stop Shere Khan as well as the younger wolves challenging Epilogue. Because of this, he is forced to leave the jungle and join the world of men. Mowgli begins to adjust to village life until he discovers that the British hunter, renamed for Kipling's own father, killed his friend. This is where the film deviates from the stories, as Mowgli gets revenge on both Shere Khan and on Lockwood with the help of the elephant herd. This adaptation embraces the darker elements of what the author envisioned in the Jungle Book and the second Jungle Book, depicting each animal's emotions through performance capture. More than just stories about anthropomorphized creatures of the jungle, Kipling's writings advocated self-sufficiency, restraint, and obedience. The Jungle Book has mesmerized countless young and old with its fantastical yet moral tales of the boy who learns about the natural order of life, as well as his responsibilities within the community. Let us know which adaptation of the Jungle Book you enjoyed the most. Thanks for watching.